Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're plunging into, well, a truly bizarre and actually wonderfully documented encounter from Nottingham, England. It's fascinated researchers for decades.
It really has.
Just imagine, if you will, a crisp evening back in 1979, a group of kids, and a very unexpected chase.
We are talking about the Wollaton Gnomes. It sounds strange, I know. But September 23rd, 1979, a group of primary school children reported seeing not just one or two, but 30 gnomes. 30. Each driving their own tiny car right there in Wollaton Park. And this wasn't just, a quick look.
No.
No, it was an encounter they said lasted about 15 minutes, and it involved a pursuit, a chase.
Wow.
And what's really fascinating for us digging into this is how incredibly well documented it all became. We've got original interviews, the kids' drawings, newspaper reports. We've had a good look at them.
So our mission for you today is to kind of unpack this peculiar story, see what nuggets of insight we can maybe find in the detail.
Exactly. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it wasn't just a simple sighting, was it? The accounts suggest the evening had this real whiff of illicit adventure, as one source put it.
Oh, definitely. We're looking at maybe 6 to 8 kids, not the 3 or 4 often reported. They met up around 8 p.m.
Which was late.
Very late. And they were actually trespassing. Wollaton Park was officially closed. They were heading to this fenced-off boggy bit known locally as the swamps.
Right. The swamps, okay.
Indeed. And the encounter itself seems to have unfolded in phases. First, 4 of the older kids, maybe the more daring ones, went through a hole in the fence into the swamps.
Okay.
And that's where things started moving. They reported seeing movement, like up in the treetops. Then these gnome cars appeared and started chasing them.
Chasing them inside the swamps.
Yeah. 2 of the boys apparently ended up literally falling in the mud, so they scrambled back out pretty quick, you can imagine.
I bet. So here's where it gets, well, even stranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once they're outside the swamps, the older kids, all muddy, meet back up with the younger ones.
Mm-hmm.
They tell their story, gnomes in cars chasing us. But the younger kids are like, yeah, right. Not buying it.
Not at all. Until
the gnome cars themselves supposedly came out of the swamps.
That's the testimony. They emerged and then started chasing the entire group.
So everyone just legged it.
Pretty much. They all ran for the park exit. Apparently, the gnomes didn't follow them out into the streets. It stopped at the park boundary, like something out of a film.
Okay, but this whole amazing story, these details, it brings up let's say, a crucial question. The light.
Exactly, the light conditions. Sunset on September 23rd that year was just after 7 p.m. By 8 p.m., when the kids went in, it would have been properly dark.
Full darkness.
Full darkness. And it was a rainy day, likely overcast, only a tiny sliver of a moon. Not much help there.
Yet, the descriptions they gave, they were incredibly detailed, weren't they?
Astonishingly so.
Yeah.
The color of the gnomes' beards, their clothes had patches, their specific hats, even the color of these tiny cars. And they were adamant. Exactly 30 cars, 60 gnomes.
How? I mean, how could they possibly see that level of detail in near pitch black? It's baffling.
It is the central problem, really. Now, the children did offer explanations when asked. Patrick, one of the kids, claimed the gnomes just sort of showed up like they were glowing.
Glowing gnomes.
That's what he said. And Andrew, another boy, said they seen a light in the trees hanging. So some kind of illumination.
And even serious investigators latched onto that.
Well, someone like Marjorie Johnson, who took these accounts very seriously, she leaned into the idea that, well, fairies and similar entities can create their own light. It's a common trope in folklore.
Right. But it's interesting how later reports, like newspaper articles, tended to just skim over that slightly awkward detail, They focused on the gnome cars.
Absolutely. The glowing part makes it harder to sort of process rationally, perhaps. It gets glossed over.
Okay, but then there's the context of Wollaton Park itself. This wasn't maybe just a one-off weird event.
That's another layer, yeah. If we step back, there's a strong suggestion that Wollaton Park already had something of a local reputation for, well, fairy encounters. About 10 relevant sightings seem to be documented around that area or time.
Yeah.
And even more striking, these same kids had apparently claimed they saw gnomes in the park earlier that year during the summer holidays, just a few months before.
Ah, okay.
And get this. An older sibling of one of the kids claimed to see more gnomes in cars the very next day after this big chase incident.
So it sounds like these local kids might have had their own sort of ongoing story, a private folklore about the park and its little inhabitants.
It certainly looks that way. It adds a whole different dimension, doesn't it?